Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. Vambasam prachalata Taravopi chadaiva Chakshusham bhamyamanena Krishyate chalati vabhu. Report by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhu. Because of the movements of the water, the trees on the bank of the river, when reflected on the water, seem to move. Similarly, when the eyes move because of some mental derangement, the land appears to move also. Please repeat translation. Because of the movements of the water, the trees on the bank of a river, and reflect from the water, seem to move. Similarly, when the eyes move, because of some mental derangement, the land appears to move also. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes, because of mental derangement, the land appears to be moving. A drunkard, for example, or a person with heart disease sometimes feels that the land is moving. Similarly, the reflections of trees in a flowing river also appear to move. These are the actions of Maya. Actually, the living entity does not move. Stharu achaloyam. The living entity does not take birth or accept death, but because of the transient subtle and gross bodies, the living entity appears to move from one place to another or be dead and gone forever. As the Bengali Vaishnava poet Jagadananda Pandita has said, Pishachi paile yena mati channa hoy, Maya prastha jivera hoy se bhavuda hoy. According to the statement from the Prema Vivarta, when a living entity is conditioned by material nature, he is exactly like a person haunted by a ghost. One should therefore understand the fixed position of the spirit soul and how he is carried away by the waves of material nature to different bodies and different situations under lamentation and hankering. One achieves the success of life when he understands the constitutional position of the self and is undisturbed by the conditions created by material nature. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta Prabhu. Om ajnana-jnanasya jnana-jnana-shalakaya chakshurumriyamena tasmai shri-gurave namah. Namaho Vishnu-padaya Krishna-preshaya bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Gacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya-deshadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda was affected when he got the news of the death of his brother. So there has been a big calamity in the family of Hiranyakashipu. His mother, his sister-in-law, Hiranyaksha's wife, and Hiranyaksha's children, they are very much affected by death, and the death also has happened because Hiranyaksha was killed by Vishnu. So Hiranyakashipu has become very angry against Vishnu. And he is explaining that generally Vishnu is equal to the demigods and the demons. But this time, Vishnu has taken the side of the demigods, and he has assumed a mystical form of a boar, and he has killed my brother. So Hiranyakashipu is very, very angry against Vishnu. And he is taking a vow that he is going to kill Vishnu by separating his head from his body. He is going to chop off Vishnu's head. So this is Hiranyakashipu's condition. He knows that Vishnu is worshipped by the demigods, like saintly persons, by the people with divine nature. So he wants to take revenge against Vishnu by not only attempting to kill Vishnu, but also he wants to create disturbance among the followers of, the faithful followers of Vishnu. So he called his own followers, his servants, and he told them to stop all kinds of Vedic principles. So the demons, the followers of Hiranyakashipu, they set fire to cities, villages, pasturing grounds, agricultural fields, natural forests. They burned down the hermitages of saintly persons. They attacked the residential quarters of the agriculturists, the peace-loving people, the cowherd men. They broke the bridges. They destroyed the gates of the cities. They cut down important trees like those trees which produce mango, jackfruit. Then they set fire to the residential quarters of the citizens in the cities and towns and villages. And the sacrifices being performed by the Brahmanas, the saintly persons, were all stopped. Then the demigods also became disturbed because not receiving the sacrificial offerings, the demigods also cannot ensure proper supply of the necessities of the humans on the earth. This is explained in the Bhagavad Gita in the 3rd chapter. Krishna says that one has to do work as yajna if one wants to be free from material bondage. Now, not only yajna ensures that we become free from material bondage, but yajna also ensures that we get our necessities. This is the arrangement. When the Supreme Lord created this world, He made arrangement that the humans on the earth get their needs by performing yajna as an offering to the devatas, who will arrange for the proper supply. So the cycle of performance of yajna by the human beings the supply by the demigods, when the demigods receive the sacrificial offerings. That cycle is now disturbed because of Hiranyakashipu's followers stopping these sacrifices. And the demigods are also very much disturbed. They began to wander on the planet Earth, and they began to find out what is going on, why these sacrifices have stopped. Now Hiranyakashipu, meantime, after he has instructed his followers to create all these disturbances, he also is seeing that he has to pacify his mother, his sister-in-law, and his nephews. And in order to pacify, he is speaking like a big philosopher. Hiranyakashipu is speaking about the philosophy of the self being the soul, different from the body. And while speaking this philosophy, he is explaining, these are words spoken by Hiranyakashipu. This verse, he is explaining that the spirit soul is actually fixed. It doesn't move. But it appears to be moving because of the gross and subtle body. The example is being given here that when you stand on the bank of a river means water is flowing. So if there are trees on the bank of the river, the trees will also appear to move with the water. The reflection of the trees will appear to move because the water is moving. Similarly, because this body is actually changing, the spirit soul also appears to be changing. The body becomes old, so therefore people think that they have become old. The body gets diseased, a person thinks, I am diseased. But actually, it's not the spirit soul which is diseased or becoming old. Spirit soul does not die. Spirit soul means you, the real person. The real person has no death, no birth, no disease, no old age, no movement, nothing. Has nothing to do with this body. But this wrong identification with the body is the cause of so many misconceptions and consequently so many unnecessary problems. So the examples are given here. Movement of the water, it seems like the trees are moving. Or if the eyes start moving due to some derangement of the brain, or even sometimes due to heart disease, a person is not able to see properly, then he begins to think everything around him is moving. The land is moving. The building is moving. Objects which are stationary, he begins to see them as moving. So same way, the spirit soul appears to be moving, appears to be inside the body, active as the body is active. Now this philosophy of the spirit soul is correct, what Hiranyakashipu is explaining. But where Hiranyakashipu is wrong is that Vishnu is the cause of the death of his brother. He himself is telling that you should not mistakenly think the body to be spirit soul. Spirit soul does not die. And he is angry against Vishnu for Vishnu has killed his brother. If his brother is not dead because his brother is also spirit soul, then why should Hiranyakashipu become angry against Vishnu? Vishnu is not the cause of the death of his brother. So this is how demons, they don't apply the philosophy properly. They take it according to their own convenience. That when it comes to applying the philosophy for somebody else, then they have one way of explaining things. And if they want to apply the philosophy to themselves, then they have another way. So this is demoniac mentality. Because such demons, they are not really interested in what is the truth or what is the reality. Their philosophy is to actually be independent and enjoy independently. This is their philosophy. And because Hiranyakashipu does not want his mother, his relatives to be in grief, so simply to make them come out of this situation where they are experiencing distress, he is speaking these philosophical words. So this is the nature of the demons or demoniac mentality. As opposed to this, divine nature means the philosophy is understood from the proper source, that is, from the source of God and His devotees, who are self-realized souls. And the philosophy is also properly applied. Proper application of philosophy is also important. If we don't apply the philosophy properly, then, in spite of knowing the philosophy, we will not actually become self-realized. We will not be able to solve our problems. Just like it will be evident in the future, later chapters of this canto, how Hiranyakashipu became very much disturbed when he was not able to subdue his own son, who was a devotee. He was against devotees, thinking that devotees are belonging to the party of his enemy, Vishnu. So they make some distinctions between friend and enemy. This is demoniac mentality. Whereas devotees don't make such distinctions as friend and enemy. Yudhishthira Maharaj is the best example. He is called Ajata Shatru. Because even though he was not treated properly by the Kauravas, especially by Duryodhana, Duryodhana always thought Yudhishthira is my enemy. But Yudhishthira never thought, never considered, or never saw Duryodhana as his enemy. So, the devotees, the demigods, or the divine natured persons, they apply the philosophy properly because they know how to apply the philosophy, having received the knowledge from the proper source. The demons, they don't accept philosophy, or they don't try to learn the truth from the proper source. They are either speculators, or they try to gather knowledge by their own intelligence, or they theorize and they philosophize on their own. And like this, they never are able to understand what is the correct. Correctly, they are not able to understand what is the truth. So So therefore, these demoniac people always are in ignorance. They are always in ignorance. However, a big philosophy they may speak, they may seem like very, very learned, but actually all that knowledge that they have is useless. It is described in the Bhagavad Gita, such demonic natured people, what happens? Maya apahrita jnana. The effect of Maya is such that on the demoniac natured persons, their knowledge is stolen away by illusion. Their knowledge is stolen away by illusion. Just like Hiranyakashipu. He has knowledge, but knowledge is not useful for him to understand Vishnu is nobody's enemy, Vishnu is everyone's well-wisher. That he cannot understand. Suhridam sarva bhutana. This Bhagavad Gita is explained that Krishna or Vishnu is everyone's well-wisher. So he is the well-wisher of the demons also. He is well-wisher of everyone. Everyone is his part and parcel. But the demons don't think like that. They don't consider that Vishnu is their well-wisher. They think Vishnu is belonging to the party of the demigods, and demigods are their rivals. So the demons always take Vishnu also to be their rival. They don't have an understanding that Vishnu is above the material modes. He has nothing to do with this material world. This gain and loss in terms of material objects or material power or material wealth. Vishnu has nothing to do with such gain and loss. Anyway, the whole creation is a effect of the three modes. So, why will Vishnu be interested in some temporary effect of the gunas? That the demons cannot understand. Therefore, they mistakenly think Vishnu to be their enemy or their rival. And consequently, they make offenses against Vishnu or against devotees. And then, when they make offenses, the result of such offenses is that they go deeper and deeper into ignorance, into illusion. And they cannot get proper understanding of true knowledge. So that's the result of the demoniac mentality. And Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Tanaham vishata kruran samsareshu haranam. Even though Krishna is actually very, very compassionate towards the suffering souls, still, if somebody is of demoniac behavior, then Krishna says, I cast them into demoniac species, and they go lower and lower and lower down towards the hellish planets. Ultimately, they are punished in hell for all their grievous sinful activities. They cannot stop sinning, such demoniac natured people. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, in the 16th chapter, where demonic nature is explained by Krishna, he says, Tasmat etat trayam tyajet. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, he describes as three gates to hell. Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nashanam atmanaha. The soul, spirit soul, becomes degraded when the soul becomes influenced by lust, greed, or anger. So we have to conquer lust, greed, and anger. Conquer means we should give up. And it's not easy because our material existence itself is due to lust, which further degrades into greed and anger. So this lust is the very cause of our material existence. So to give up lust is not easy. We are very much attached. And lust is exhibited in the shape of trying to enjoy materially due to a material misconception. So to give up lust is possible only if one develops Krishna consciousness. It's the only way to give up lust. There is no other way. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught an easy method to develop Krishna consciousness simply by some of the other chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. You can easily develop Krishna consciousness and easily conquer lust, greed, anger, everything. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Even the demons, if they somehow chant Hare Krishna, then they can become Krishna conscious. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Especially in Kali Yuga, people have so much influence by demoniac nature. We are affected by the kind of association we have. Because most of the people are of demoniac nature. There are very few people with divine nature. So that demoniac influence is more in Kali Yuga. So many people who are not actually demoniac nature, they become influenced by this demoniac mentality. And they also start behaving like demons. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this Hare Krishna mantra which will destroy the demoniac mentality. Krishna comes in various incarnations to kill the demons, to protect the devotees. But as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he does not kill the demons. He destroys the demoniac mentality by the Hare Krishna mantra. So Hare Krishna mantra is so nice that simply if somebody chants Hare Krishna mantra, then they become free from this demoniac nature themselves. And if their chanting falls on the ears of other people somehow, then that vibration, transcendental vibration, will destroy the demoniac nature of the other people also. So this is the gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for all of us. Simply chant Hare Krishna. But people are not easily able to accept this simple process. There are so many different objections. So they have got a wrong philosophical understanding about what is religion, or what is truth, or what is God. They have their own philosophy. Or they are too materialistic because they don't bother about any spiritual subject matter. Or they are too much engrossed in material enjoyment, because of which they think that somehow or the other, if they can secure some sense gratification, then they consider their life successful. Even if that sense gratification is actually leading only to more and more miseries, still they don't mind. So people's condition is very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate condition. They won't take up even the simple process of chanting Hare Krishna. Therefore, there's a need for preaching this Krishna consciousness. It's very easy to practice this chanting of Hare Krishna, but there's a need for preaching. So therefore, devotees who are themselves engaged in chanting Hare Krishna, they should also preach to other people who are not yet devotees, to make them chant Hare Krishna and help them to actually solve all their problems by this most powerful, effective and simple method Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving. Otherwise, the demoniac influence is very prominent in society. See, even among these so-called followers of religion, there are so many people with this demoniac mentality. In the name of religion, people are actually exhibiting demoniac qualities, demoniac nature. Because demons also, they don't exactly say that they are irreligious people. Sometimes demons also are very religious people. There's like Hiranyakashipu. He performs severe tapasya to appease Brahma. So, he is also a religious person. Hiranyakashipu is also a religious person. He's not exactly religious. But the aim of his religious practice or goal of his religious following is simply something which is not Krishna conscious. Therefore, Bhagavatam clearly describes what is real religion. Dharma projita kaitavo atra. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, all this kaitava dharma, these cheating religious processes are completely rejected. So this is a cheating religious process where somebody is doing severe austerities, apparently following religion with great amount of trouble, painstakingly following religion. But what are they doing? They are aiming at sense enjoyment. They are not aiming at self-realization. That's why in the 17th chapter, Krishna describes in the Bhagavad Gita that all austerities, yajna, dana, tapa, kriya, all of them should aim at self-realization. Not that you do some yajna, tapasya, dana, whatever religious activities for sense gratification. That is demonic. So merely being religious is not enough. What is the aim of religion? Dharma swanushtita pumsam vishvaksena tatha sviyaha na utpadeti kiratim shramayena keval. Bhagavatam declares if somebody follows religious principles but does not aim at self-realization, then such practice of religious principles is useless. It's simply wasted effort. Shramayena keval. It's wasted effort. So merely following religion is not enough. The aim of religion should be self-realization. So that is also explained by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Everything that is there in the Bhagavatam is there in the Bhagavad Gita. But Bhagavad Gita, the principles are stated in very, very briefly. In a very cryptic way, Krishna has given all the principles. But the details are explained in the Bhagavatam by giving examples of those who properly practice dharma, those who did not follow religious principles with a proper goal, ultimate goal, just like Hiranyakashipu. So all these examples with details are given in the Bhagavatam. So the explanation about the spirit soul, even though it is correct, but the application of this knowledge is not correct. The application by Hiranyakashipu is completely wrong. Therefore, when we hear philosophy, we should also consider how we actually apply this philosophy in our life. That also we have to learn. So that can be learned only if one hears philosophy and follows the directions of a devotee. There is no use hearing philosophy from a non-devotee. Even the non-devotees also speak philosophy. They also have their own understanding, but they are missing the real purpose or the real point. So that's why it is said one should hear philosophy or hear the scriptural explanations from a devotee. That's why even the Guru one accepts should be a Vaishnava. Avaishnava Guru Nasyat. Vaishnava Shrapacho Guru. One should only accept a Vaishnava as a spiritual master, and then he can be assured of proper direction in terms of even following the religious principles according to the Shastras. So let's stop here. Any questions?
Narada Muni was visiting Hiranyakashipu. He was preaching so much, but still didn't he apply in his life?
Narada Muni was preaching to Hiranyakashipu, but such preaching is not effective because Hiranyakashipu is a determined demon. Preaching to demons is not effective. Preaching to somebody who is divine nature or inclined to follow divine nature, such people preaching is effective. Preaching is not effective to demonic nature persons. Demons are determined to actually enjoy in this world. And Krishna says this, Bhogaishwarya prasattanam daya pravda chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate. Demonic nature people are determined to enjoy. Bhogaishwarya prasattanam. They are so attached to Bhoga and Aishwarya, to sense enjoyment and material wealth, which is required for sense enjoyment. They are so attached, they won't give up. They say, whatever you teach in terms of religious principles, that should help me increase my Bhoga and increase my Aishwarya. More money, more enjoyment. So that's what they want. So, Narada Muni is preaching, become detached, give up this Bhoga and Aishwarya. So, where will Hiranyakashipu be interested?
Prabhu, in this body, the flowing river is compared to this body, and the standing tree is compared to the soul, is it?
Yes. The tree is not moving, but it appears to be moving. Similarly, the soul is fixed in its position. In what position? In a spiritual position. Just like some person is lying on the bed at night sleeping, but in a dream he is so active, doing so many things. So in the dream he is very active, but actually he is lying on the bed. He is not moving. He is not active actually. So what is this dream-like condition? It is simply an effect of Maya, the illusory energy. Similarly, this body also, this gross body, that is a subtle body. Dream, you are active in the subtle body. And wakeful state, you are active in the gross body. So the gross body also is like a dream-like condition of the spirit soul in the spiritual position. So spiritually we are all sleeping. Even when we are awake, actually spiritually we are sleeping. It means we are ignorant about our spiritual identity. We are ignorant about our spiritual position. We are ignorant of that. So in that ignorance, this dream is continuing. The night dream is for a short time. The day dream continues life after life. It is just that when one body, life in one body is over, then you're shaken up. Wake up! That is death. What is death? Wake up call. Wake up! But people say, no, I want to continue to sleep. So they are put into another body, another dream. It's like sometimes you try to wake up a person deep asleep, fast asleep, no, I don't want to get up. And again goes back to sleep. So enters another dream, that's all. Will not come out of dream. So like that, life after life, this dreaming is continuing. This dreaming business is going on.